The fog has lifted. Oh, for the love of God. They knew what they were doing. Since the moment we met, I have made plain my interest in you. Oh, Elidibus, you don't say.
Oh my.
Well, to understand your nature. Oh, okay, Elidibus. Getting ahead of myself there. You gonna be okay? Please hang out with us. Please stay chilling with us, buddy. Free. Then I am no longer needed. No, we need you. You're gonna make me a little bit sad again? Do not look so crestfallen, my friend. These few moments of clarity are more than I could have asked for.
Oh, sick. Bottom. I want to go bottom.
Dude, bottom's sick.
Bottom
yeah,
badass.
no. Dude, bro, yeah.
Stick around, do your job.
Let's do it. This motif always reminded me of Zelda's Lullaby because it's real close. This warmth. Your ether. Aw, yeah. We got some tricks too, buddy. You've grasped the fraying strands of my being and tied them together with your own. I am Elidibus, the emissary. As such, it falls upon me to judge Athena, who would disrupt our carefully maintained balance to fulfill her own desires. I swear, I shall not waver in this duty. This cutscene should have been voice acted. That is my only thing bordering on a complaint. That were some damn good Elidibus lines.
I throw no shade. I throw no shade by saying this because I think it is very commendable. There is some dense-ass stuff in the MSQ that I'm really happy they've been voice acting. Some real nitty-gritty logistics. So if they had to choose their battles, I'm glad they chose that over something I would have already happily read in my head, no problem.
I'll read Chunky. That was emotional, man. I'd love to hear Elidibus deliver that. Yeah, no, I'm with you, Coco. Yeah, Shadowbringer's replay is strong. Because, as you know, I wasn't the biggest Elidibus fan. A lot, like, I've heard the line a lot from a lot of folks that say that, and to them, Endwalker makes Shadowbringers better, and I think that is fairly true across the board, but I still, like, a lot of times it comes out when I say I prefer Shadowbringers to Endwalker. I will say unequivocally, Endwalker has made Elidibus better for me, because I needed a little bit more from old Little.
I'm feeling zero emotions at the moment. I am in full logic mode.
Oh.
I'm in full investigation.
Damn,
You know
dude,
how many files I'm digging through in the background?
Listen, I'm glad you're that role. I'm glad you're that role. One of us needs to be thinking critically right now. But also, how can you not just instantly be transported to the end of 5.3? Like,
Oh sure, no, it was I liked
my Gemblies.
the joyousness of the song redo.
What hit me there was Elidibus talking about the moment of clarity. Just because of like what a mess that character was mentally for all of 14, and then to just have that moment to be like finally a moment of clarity, it's great character writing. It's like really understanding the character, really understanding like what's at their core, and then pulling on that thread. It's fantastic. Is absolutely fantastic. This is it. This is where I dine. This is where I eat. These character moments. I love it. This is some good shit. I'm glad you got your critical head on tonight, because I just want to cry in Elidibus.
Cries in Elidibus.
Yes. Hey everyone, and welcome to our Clips and Highlights channel. If you want to keep up with everything Kyle and I have going on, make sure you subscribe to the main Grinding Gear YouTube channel, which is where we actually do these streams. That's right, we stream right here on YouTube. Oh, and sub to the Grinding Gear podcast. Apple, Google, Spotify, really any podcast platform. We're probably there. Thanks. Perhaps we might discuss a matter which has been troubling me. While your colleague Namjiji was enlightening us on the historical events which led to this era, she let slip the name of one of the Asians. Lahabrea, although she knew of the figure only from her research. She was most insistent that there is no evidence connecting the Ascian to myself. Yet I am aware that this Lahabrea used the heart of Sabik to sow chaos throughout your world. And I would be a fool to deny such strong connections between us. You are the only one present who has met the Ascian in question, so I would ask you directly, are he and I one and the same? Is my fate to work in the shadows and bring about untold destruction? I feel like it is disrespectful to lie to this man.
I mean, he's a recording of himself kind of way. I guess we might as well tell him it's him, but,
That's where I lean.
Yeah.
I see. If you say it is so, then there is no reason to disbelieve it. These Ascians, or Paragons, I'm told, were ruthless in their schemes to rejoin the Sundered Worlds. I have heard but a small number of their deeds, and still I find it difficult to comprehend the depths to which they were willing to sink, to choose a path of evil, all for the sake of the star. I admit, it is a decision I would make under the right circumstances. Although the ages may take their toll, my devotion to my duty will never waver. Paying no heed to what might be lost, I will treat the heart of Sabik as a mere tool for my own ends, never caring to look beyond the surface. I will unleash forces that I fail to truly comprehend, and remain blissfully ignorant of my hypocrisy all the while. Oh, it appears Claudian has awakened.
Val, Tuna, I have some faint memories of what transpired. You stood against Athena and won. And you were there too. Were you even doing Doc Brown for this guy? Well, it doesn't fit anymore. It's fine.
The most difficult of your trials is behind you. But you may find that Pandaemonium has yet to relinquish the last of its secrets. Don't threaten me with a good time, buddy. Among them is the identity of Hephaestus' liberator. Now that I have said my piece, I shall follow in my son's footsteps. These odious memories will fade to nothing, as was always their fate. Farewell. My time, too, draws near. But I believe I can stay long enough to see this matter through. You shall journey to the past to seek out the truth of Lahabrea's words, yes? They made me feel things for Lahabrea. Alright, if they're never going to give us housing in Amarat, I will settle for housing in Pandaemonium. Stay here. This will be over soon.
Why did you call me here, Master Lahabrea? There's still much to be done if the orders are to be freed.
You have served within Pandaemonium since Athena's time, have you not? That makes you the most senior keyword, now that Agdistus is gone. As such, you deserve to know a secret few others are privileged to hear, one concerning myself. Separating Hephaestus from myself required removing part of my soul. Unnecessary sacrifice, but one which came at no small cost to my natural talents. I am but a shadow of the man I was at the time of my appointment as Lahabrea. I could never hope to wield the same magics that Hephaestus used to bind the warders' minds, let alone break their shackles.
That tone of defeat does not befit your voice, Master Lahabrea. Do not give in to despair.
There is no despair, only truth. I do not confide in you to garner cheap sympathy. Hephaestus left behind fascinating research. His conclusion was that in order to transform a vessel into a hematheos, absolute control over the mind was essential. As you well know, the magics used to achieve such dominion exploited strong emotions within their victims' hearts. In the case of Hesperos and Agdesis, their respect for me. Upon slipping his bonds, Hephaestus took steps to throw Pandaemonium into chaos. With their attention divided, Keyword and Water alike were easy targets. But there was an act that came before. Regardless of Hephaestus' prowess, he could not have won freedom on his own. For long days and nights I pondered who might have released him. I could only conclude that Athena's plans were set in motion long, long ago, when she claimed the mind of one of her admirers, Hegemon. None would question your pride in your position, your devotion to Pandaemonium. But you do not believe I am the one fit to lead it, do you? Your loyalty lies not with my vision for Pandaemonium, but Athena's.
Master Lahabrea, whatever spurned the sudden accusation, I assure you, there are proper explanations.
Hell yeah.
What are you doing, Lahabrea?
Do not approach! Did you get a jump scare?
Yeah, just sudden.
As I have already stated, even should I detect Athena's tinkering, I am currently powerless to dispel it. And so I have come to a decision, one which was made with the best interests of our star in mind. In order to build a better future, I require the strength I have lost. Ah.
Okay.
I must embrace these odious memories. Mark well this sight. Engrave it upon your very soul. You now bear witness to the true Lahabrea. There's the Lahabrea I know.
That was stylish.
Just burning her to death? Jesus.
Is she alive?
Yes. And she shall remember this lesson well. Athena's puppet no longer, I see. She may yet harbor ill will toward me, but that is a risk I am willing to take. Our star requires a steady hand to guide it, and now mine is equal to the task. I can no longer allow Pandaemonium to divert my focus. Hegemon, I would ask that you serve me anew. There is none other more suited to overseeing this prison. None other who will take such pride in that duty.
My loyalty to Athena led me to betray you once before. Why would you allow me to keep the position of key ward?
I require your talents, as I require Hephaestus's. The past is of no consequence.
Lahabrea number 1. Very well. In honor of our fallen colleagues, I shall restore this institution to its former glory. Full circle. Lahabrea is himself once more. He wields his authority without hesitation. And thinks not twice, once. What? And thinks not twice, once. Yes, his judgment has sounded.
Yet he is different from Athena. He thinks only of the betterment of the star. So long as duty guides his actions, he shall not share her fate. And should his convictions ever waver, the emissary will set him back on the proper course. This is how you all became like catty bitches with one another.
Good. If this is the path he chose to walk, then I walk it with him. And allow our bonds to fray no further. As his son, I will support him in the days ahead. Dad number 1. Best dad.
Before you leave here, mark well these words. My resolve shall weather loss unfathomed, and yield before no obstacle. Walk your path with the same conviction. Chills, man. Hell yeah. I don't want to be over. This freaking rules. Oh my, we have multiple lava. Oh Jesus! What the shining is happening here? Kyle, do you see this?
Hope it's them playing catch.
Kyle, if you ruin one more thing for me tonight.
I leave this memory for you, the future of our star. The final days have come, and the creation magics we have so relied upon have now hastened our downfall. But despair has not yet won out. Lahabrea and the others of the Convocation are working to stem the chaos which threatens to engulf our star. Their plan requires great sacrifice. Elidibus, Themis, has already offered to give his life for our salvation. Yet there is another problem which must be dealt with. Pandaemonium, wherein are confined our most vicious creations. Even should we survive the final days, it'll take time to restore order. If Pandaemonium's cells were breached and the prisoners set upon the star, our hard-won peace would be obliterated in an instant. Someone must stay behind to ensure that never happens. With Themis and Lahabrea otherwise indisposed, that responsibility falls to me. That is why I must defy the directive of the Convocation. My soul will not be offered to manifest the will of the star, but instead consigned to eternal vigil.
Dude, that's freaking... Oh.
I know that in doing so, the final days may take me. I may not live to see my duty upheld. That is why I have resolved to set this crystal adrift in the tides of the underworld. It contains memories of Pandaemonium from both my father and I, and shall bear this warning to future, even if I cannot.
So that's why there's more than one memory in there.
I have imbued this crystal with magics that will attract it to my essence. Even should I journey through the underworld and be born anew, this message will reach me. Pandaemonium shall not be left unattended. If all else fails, then perhaps another man, like my dear friend, will come along. One with almost unnatural ability to pick up the scent of trouble. I wonder where he is now. How many souls has he saved? And how many beasts has he slain since we met? Alongside my warning, this memory shall carry a wish. Valentuna, may we meet again. Now listen well. If anyone receives this message, you must come to Pandaemonium. Please make haste. I repeat.
It's like straight up the Obi-Wan warning.
Yeah,
Post
and
Order
there's the
66.
quote from the beginning. You know,
Yeah.
all lines up.
It survived.
Okay. However, its powers in our sight yet remains, and it may prove to be a valuable trove of knowledge in the hands of the right researcher. That's not important. In the back pocket it goes. I shall take my leave.
Yeah, that's Dawn Trail's problem now.
I see.
Oh,
Huh.
Then Hephaestus' story
All right,
has been
then.
laid
Sure.
bare.
Cool.
hell yeah.
Sweet.
I didn't think we'd be doing this tonight,
Yeah.
but are you ready to sync up?
I'm ready.
You're gonna make me sad, aren't you?
As has the nature of our mysterious crystal. The questions which led us into Pandaemonium are answered, and soon order shall be restored. I too can fade away, unburdened by regret. I could not have reached this point without you, friend. So many revelations. But there are more, if you would dig a little deeper. Elidibus's soul was plucked from the ethereal sea, and from it I was wrought. Surely you have a passing interest in what I remember, in what I feel.
It feels like the developer is talking to me.
You deserve what answers I can provide. While my memories of Pandaemonium are clear, all else is hazy at best. Perhaps Athena made me this way. Or perhaps it is the result of who or what I was before. Still, I can recall vague figures, scenes from my future and your past. At the Crystal Tower's peak, we clash. And later, from that self-same spire, I send you forth into our age, into Elpis. Why do I decide on such a course? Formless as these images are, I cannot say. However, I can hazard a guess. Somewhere within my fragmented memories, I catch a glimpse of our journey into Pandaemonium. A glimpse which shows not the path we took or the destination where it led us, yet by its very presence demands that you are required in Elpis. And even if that act is but one link in the chain of events which ends in Atheris' salvation, then this all has meaning. Our time together, every moment, is worthwhile, and I am unburdened by regret. That said, it is possible my motivations become something else entirely. That you would cross this vast expanse in the hopes of being reunited with your allies. A devotion that once would have baffled me. But after having been to the depths of that twisted prison and back, I think I can understand. Now, I have pulled back the curtain as far as I dare. The people of your age call this the Ethereal Sea, a name I quite enjoy, for it teems with life, each star a soul on its journey. And among these uncountable stars, it was yours that crossed my path. For that, I shall be forever grateful. I wish you well on your journey. A journey as long as your star is bright. A journey not bound by the confines of this world or any other.
What?
How fascinating. The truths that dwell at the edge of sleep. The course of history is set by its victors. It is immutable, and yet should this star continue upon its path, look, the light.
Just on my deathbed, like, hang on, where? And just pull that shit out. What was it back in Stormblood? I say, if you don't know how to say goodbye, that's how you freaking die. That's a good death. That's how you sign off. That's good shit.
But, I mean, I yes, but also it's how you're reborn.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool. I'm glad they didn't overdo the happy endings. I'm glad like Lahabrea was still kind of like, ooh, this guy is off to a dark place.
Got some bullshit.
But I'm glad that they gave Elidibus, because Elidibus is what I thought was ending, and the Crystal Tower was pretty sad. And I'm thinking back to that message we got earlier where you were saying your headcanon was that Hydaelyn moved Elidibus to the Source's ethereal seat. Because that was a proper goodbye. I mean, he even said that his soul was there and made manifest with the memory. Like, he basically explains it there. He basically dispels doubt and says, this is me. Hey, everybody, I'm leaving. But my thought now I'm thinking about, now I'm cooking Kyle. Since they don't spell it out. Maybe it's spelled out somewhere else, but maybe Claudian is about to spell it out. But he did his final last bits of energy. He was still in the Crystal Tower when he sent us to Elpis. And that's where we always travel to and from the Source to the First. So if you want to get headcanon-y, you could also say that as he was dispersing, he just like fired himself out the Crystal Tower hole into the portal that takes you to the Source. All of your cooking tonight. And I've stumped you on that? I mean, this isn't even cooking. This is just headcanon at this point. You're in proximity to the travel MacGuffin in this world. So that's where my head started going. All of that. That was wonderful. That was absolutely wonderful.
Well, a nice little send off to not being laborious because the last little bit faded. The last little memory finally joined the pile. And even in his final moments, he's like, "Oh man, I'd sure like to see some shit. You know what? I'm freaking tired. Nice light. Let's go."
I didn't need it, but boy, can you just imagine like the comedy writing you could do with Elidibus ends up down in the water, and then like Emmett and Hithel show up, and they all just start chuckle fucking.
They're all freaking
Like the Lahabrea walks in
all together, all rejoicing.
Like they all start like just, welcome old friend, how are you doing? And then they just start fighting about all of the ways that they screwed things up. And at the peak of the comedy of them fighting, the door opens and they all turn and just go, "Oh my god, it's Lahabrea!"
Get out of here. Just go apologize to your son.
Who let you in, you old coot? Just, I'm imagining the comedy variant of that scene playing out, and it's wonderful in my head.
Nah, man, I'm still.
Elidibus turns and goes, "Oh, look who the cat dragged in."
I'm just stuck on like, you ever have a moment where you're like desperately holding on to a memory and like you're hoping that it can just become a core. You know it won't. It's just gonna slip through your fingers. It's not gonna stick around. Sometimes you have a moment where you're like, "Oh, please don't let this be a core memory." It totally becomes it. You remember it forever, right? But sometimes you really want to hold on to something.
I don't think I ever understood the concept of a core memory when bad core memories were formed.
And this is one of them. The line, "And amongst these uncountable stars, it was yours that crossed my path. For that I shall be forever grateful." If I can just hold on to that moment, that line, for my deathbed, I'm frickin' sent. That's a beautiful frickin' line. I hope I can say something that cohesive and beautiful. That's a wonderful line.
Yeah. This was incredible. Ugh, it's nuts. It feels as much like a capstone to Shadowbringers as it is a capstone to Endwalker. It's nuts.
They just can't stop doing it. We did those Omega quests. They just
Yeah.
can't stop ending. It's called Endwalker because they can't stop ending. More endings than Return to the King.
It's all endings?
It's all endings. Always
has been. Yeah, optional content. God damn. Can you imagine not playing this?
Let's drop it off. Let's turn it in.
Hold on. Here's our... Hey. Hey. You. Hi. Hello, player of Final Fantasy XIV. Do you like Final Fantasy XIV? Do you really like Final Fantasy XIV? Have you ever had the inkling of the feeling of, hey, I like that Elpis stuff. I like that Elidibus stuff. You should play Pandaemonium.
They know.
You're really messing up. You're really... No. I want someone to clip this and send it to someone who's avoiding it.
Who's avoiding?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. You would be doing yourself a massive disservice if you did not go and play Pandaemonium. I know you're probably hearing this. Dawn Trail's out. You're thinking of all the wonderful things you can go do. But you should drop what you're doing. You should stop trying to make your Hrothgal even more buff hot than she currently is. Stop what you're doing. Drop it. Maybe go to a Discord, possibly the Grinding Gear Discord. Find 7 other people who are into this shit and go play Pandaemonium. Because you're missing out. That's my PSA.